will get that intro down one day. You know what the problem is? Let me explain to you guys what the problem is real quick. We've got the camera, we've got the headphones, we got the plug-in, the power. I'm having to all do this with my fingers, no mouse. So when you click it and you don't click it right, then sometimes you miss. So there's a problem. All right. Big time episode of Yakin with Yukon here, guys. Two reasons. First and foremost reason, Rex from Millenium Workshop is here. The guy is uber talented. I was talking to him behind the scenes. You guys are going to be blown away at not only what he does, how he does it, but how long he's been doing it. So I'm not going to give all of it away. I'm going to let Rex tell you all about this, but you guys will be flabbergasted on what this guy can do and what he's about. He's also got a charity that he's working on, so we will be sure to go over that. And I'm going to make you wait till the end for the giveaway because that's what kind of an ass I am. So want you guys to be on, want you to get to know Rex. The giveaway will happen at the end. And you all know what the giveaway's for. The Nightfall Batman Mint inbox goes to one lucky person. It's not going to be like, I spin a couple times, we get finalists. No, it's one spin. That's the deal. That's how we're going to do it. So we'll do that at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's welcome a bunch of people that are rolling in. I expect this to be a big time episode. We have got Dave's Dimension. What's up, buddy? We got Dre from the Collector's Safe Space. We got our guest. There's Rex. We've got Gary's Girl. What's up, Gary? We got Dan. What's up, my brother Dan? How you doing, buddy? We got Ultra Cardizilla. We have got Ed. We've got General Kenobi's Bunker. We've got John from Collecting Havoc. Guys, if you haven't seen my interview with John from Collecting Havoc, go back to last week's episode. Great interview. Had a great time with him. And he's given me some tips on YouTube because he's doing better than me. And he's giving me some tips. So I appreciate that, my friend. So we got him. Who else we got? You guys are rolling in hot. All right. I think that's everybody. So without further ado, let's get this going. Let's go ahead and bring in Rex. We'll get things rolling. Let me cue up his music real quick, if it'll cooperate with me. Here we go. Rex.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for being on. It's funny. The first thing I want to say to you, thank you for being early. There are times when I get on this show and I'm on, and it's like 6:59, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to have to go solo tonight or not. So, dude, thank you for being early. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking time out in your schedule. I'm sure you're busy like everybody else.
I think I logged in at like 7:25 or something.
Nice. You probably just stared at a blank screen for a while. You're like, where the hell is this guy?
I was working on stuff at the same time.
There you go, man. There you go. So, Rex, you got a lot to tell us, man. First of all, what got you into the world of cosplay and 3D printing?
When my daughter was about 3, she came up to me and my wife, and she said that she wanted to be Grogu for Halloween. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. I love Star Wars. Let's do this. And then she goes, Daddy, you're Mando.
Well,
and I was
have
like,
to be there, right?
I go, you want me to be Mando?
Right.
I go, okay. So I bought a 3D printer because I am way too cheap to actually buy a suit, because I was kind of trying to figure out pricing on everything. And I was like, you know what? I know how to paint. I don't know how to print, but I can figure that out. And I printed out my full suit and finished it, walked into my daughter's bedroom, and she just it was like the world just exploded for her. She was like, Mando.
Awesome.
I was awesome. Mando 100% in my daughter's eyes. So I knew that I did a good job, because that's all that mattered was, seeing the smile on her face.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing. Well, you and I were talking behind the scenes too. Tell these guys what it's like for you to be artistic and to kind of get things going. Is it a difficult process, or is it super easy for you?
I mean, nothing's ever super easy. It's just, I don't know. I just get an idea and I fight through the pains of trying to get it figured out. And then, the whole time I'm making a helmet or a sign or a diorama, the whole time I'm cussing myself out, like, oh, you just screwed this up. It looks terrible. But, I think that is kind of being an artist. And when you kind of step back and look at it, you're like, oh, actually, that looks pretty good. It's
Right.
because you're deep down into it.
Right. Right.
I mean, there's times where, I've scrapped a whole project because it probably looked good to others, but I saw all the imperfections and there was too many for me. So
Sure.
it was
Sure.
either start over or scrap it. Sometimes it's
Right.
easier just to let the bad one just go completely.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and that's just kind of trial by error, right? You got an
Yeah.
idea, it doesn't always turn out the way you want it. Um, so you told me behind the scenes how long you've been doing this for. How long have you been doing this for?
So I think it really ramped up for me, like making for others, and like I don't know, I'd probably say like at the beginning of this year, I bought three more printers, like kind of to start the year off because I wanted to actually take a dive in making stuff for others, not just for myself.
That's mind-boggling to me, just because I've seen all your work. You and I have talked a lot back. He's trying to get me to buy him a helmet. I need to do that.
Hey,
But
I got your Shore Trooper helmet
oh, you
in my
got it. There
garage
you
right
go.
now.
There you
It's in
go. I
it's
need
in like final sanding right now.
Nice, man. Well, we're gonna have to work that out. That's for sure. But I've seen your work, and man, you look like you've been doing this for years. I mean, it's phenomenal work. Your cosplay, your Boba Fett cosplay, is like completely accurate in every way. Have you thought about joining the 501st with that, or are you just kind of cool doing it the way you're doing it by yourself right now?
Just is kind of doing it myself because I don't know all the rules behind the 501st thing, like how they want their paints, and I know they like specific colors, but like, does every scratch have to be exactly where it is? Me, I kind of like to think of a story of like okay, Boba was in, this, battle and he got blasted here, or he fell on the ground and scratched his armor. Like I kind of just go through that in my head. And so I'm not looking at the computer and references and saying, okay, it has to look like this. I'm looking at that kind of just as okay, where does this color need to go? Okay, it needs to go here. But I kind of like to try to tell my own story when I'm making stuff.
Absolutely, and you're right on. They are very particular about that. Specific colors, specific scratches. Everything you said is exactly true about the 501st. You got to be very, very detailed. So, I mean, I like your answer that kind of do it your way, but have it make sense and that sort of thing too. I did catch a video of yours a while back where you and your daughter you were in a costume contest at I think it was a Comic Con or a convention, right? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's a comic show, but they had like some toys at it. It's called I think Jim and Dan's comic show. It's here in Dayton. And it's not like the biggest one in the world, but me and my daughter both dressed up for it. We both won, so that was
Nice,
my
nice.
daughter's costume is pretty sweet. So
That's awesome. What was her costume?
she was the Raylorian, so
Oh,
she has
nice.
her own armor and everything.
That's
Like,
awesome. That's very cool, man. Oh, nice. I mean, guys, look at that. That's phenomenal. And she's totally cool wearing that, huh? She doesn't get nervous or anything.
no,
No,
I
that's
think it's
awesome, man.
just because Daddy wears it, so it
Right,
doesn't.
right. Yeah, they take to it pretty well. Once they see you're doing it, they usually take to it pretty well.
Yeah.
Let me welcome in a couple more people as we were talking. We got LeBron Fett. What's up, buddy? And then we got Brent. What's up, Brent? Collecting with Cool. Guys, make sure you're checking out Brent's stuff too. Does a great job as always. Also, guys, if you're not subscribed to Rex's channel, Millennium Workshop, please go and do that right now. Watch all his videos. Does a lot of shorts. Great work. So definitely go check out his YouTube video. Sticking with YouTube, what made you decide to get into YouTube? Was that something that kind of come up a little bit later, or had you had always wanted to do that?
No, not at all. I hate the sound of my voice. It was not for me at all. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he used to do YouTube. He actually did toy photography. I don't know if you know who Toy Bills is, but
Oh yeah.
he did.
Yep. Yep.
He did toy. He actually used to work for me back in the day at a shoe store, and me and him were talking, and I was like, why don't you start it back up, and maybe we can do kind of like a chat where we just talk back and forth, and then we could have like maybe a shop day, because I didn't want to do anything by myself. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Right.
And he's like, well, what would the shop be called? And I was like, well, I mean, I was thinking Millennium Workshop. And he was like, bro, that's 100% like perfect. Like he loved it. And I was like, yeah, I like how it sounds. I think it's hilarious, because the Millennium Falcon was always my favorite ship, and, it needed a workshop. So
Nice.
I just went with it, and then it kind of just died from there. I was like, okay, he's not at all going to do this probably. So I just was not going to do it. And then Ed from Rebels, damn you, Ed, I love you, buddy.
Hey, we got another damn you Ed guy. I love it. Nice.
Like it was one of those, like I mentioned it to him one time, and in 3 days he had me 100% like talked into like, you're doing it, you're gonna do it, you're gonna be good at it, it's gonna be fun,
he's such
you're
a
gonna
bad
love
influence. Oh man, that guy Ed, come on, man, you're such a
so I just
dude.
posted one thing one day, and Ed was just, Ed's just hilarious. He's a good guy.
Ed is a good guy. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So I love the name too, Millennium Workshop. That really fits. So Toy Bills, he's not really in it with you anymore, then, huh? He's kind of abandoned you, and now it's your show, huh?
Well, I mean, it was just one of those let's start a show together
Oh,
type
gotcha,
thing, and
gotcha.
he's been kind of thinking about jumping in and doing his own thing, which I really hope he does, because his original channel that he had was, cool toy photography and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been me, and it's been a lot of fun with it.
That's great, man. That's awesome. I love it. Let me get to some more comments here. We're giving Ed crap, so he's gonna fire back. Let's see. So Dave says, that's a badass name. I totally agree. Great name. And then Brett says, Rex, nobody likes hearing themselves, but I listen back to see what I can improve. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of trial by error, And let's see. Gary says, I knew the damn you Ed would catch on. Yes, that is caught on. And Ed says, hello, love you, bro. Absolutely, man. And then, hey, we got Joseph Michaels on. What's up, buddy? Good to have you on. All right. So if you know Toy Bills, you probably know Josh Pence, don't you?
I do not, no.
Really? Oh, I know they're good buddies. So interesting. Okay. All right. Cool. What is your what project are you working on right now?
Well, I got a bunch in the process right now. I mean, making Han Solo's blaster for somebody.
Nice.
Getting that smoothed out. I'm still working on my battle droid. His legs are right there. His chest is getting sanded right now. But the one thing I'm excited to make is Bo-Katan's throne. So this is going to be for a 1/6 scale. And then I'm going to wrap it with leather, the actual seat for it.
Very nice.
But this thing is going to be tall. I mean, it's probably going to be about that tall.
Right. Nice.
It's going to be huge. I mean, just one half of the base is bigger than my head. So
nice, man. That's awesome. So if you wouldn't mind, you showed me your setup before. Would you like to show these guys your setup?
Yeah.
Show us all everything you got going on. So you guys check this out. He's got 4 3D printers going, and like you said, these are going pretty much all the time for you, right?
Yeah, the middle one is a 4-day print. That's the rest of the base. The column is on the right, and then the front details is on the left right now. And this printer is down. It needs I need to reattach one of the wires that came off.
Gotcha. Nice.
But that's probably going to get replaced with a resin printer. It's going to go right there.
Oh, okay, cool, very cool. And one other thing that so when I met Rex and we were talking, I assumed that he was like in the basement or the garage. Rex, show him where you're actually at.
Oh yeah, this is not no, I'm not, definitely not. This is actually my dining room. There's my kitchen.
So all the magic's happening in the dining room, guys. That's amazing. That's awesome, dude. I got such a kick out of that. I think that's so cool, man. Very, very cool. And you said, your daughter and your wife are totally cool with it. So you've got a ton of support, which is fantastic, even being in the dining room.
Yeah, I think I kind of like started at first. I was in the garage all the time, and I think that was really frustrating for my wife because it's like I'm not around, I'm not participating with the family, but like moving it into the dining room, it's easy to get to come in, talk to me, hang out with me, for me to be able to hear them when they if they need something.
Right,
It's like
right, right,
I feel closer to them doing
right.
it this route, and we weren't using the room anyway, so.
Gotcha, gotcha. And you're working on something pretty cool. Can you talk about the charity that you're working with and kind of give us the details on what that all entails?
Yeah, so the team that I'm on for St. Jude's Children's Hospital is actually through my work. I work primarily through the day with Signet Jewelers, which is like K Jewelers, and I run one of the stores here in Dayton for them. And we put on like a charity walk every year. Our team does, and we walk 1 to 2 miles for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Nice.
And this year, I kind of wanted to go big because every year I've personally never raised a lot of money for St. Jude when it came to the walks. And I always felt, like I kind of let the kids down. I raised quite a bit of money through my store for St. Jude, but personally, it's just never been there. And so I posted out there, hey, I will do this walk in a Boba Fett suit with the jetpack, which is like 30 pounds, 40
Hmm.
pounds by itself.
Hmm.
So it's going to take a toll on my back and legs. Because when I walk in that thing for longer than an hour or 20 minutes, I'm hurting. So, I feel like it's going to be a good thing to kind of help raise that money, and, the kids will, it's going to be a good thing for the kids. Trying to give
Absolutely.
them, trying to give them capes, not wings.
Right.
That's my
Right.
goal.
Absolutely. And if these guys are interested, is there a way that they can donate as well?
Yeah. I can actually put the link in the
Yeah, sure.
chat.
If you want to throw it in the chat, that'd be great.
Pull it up.
And if you guys, once he gets that link in, if you definitely want to go check it out, go ahead and donate if you can, if you're able. And definitely a great cause by Rex. I know he's going to go through a little bit of physical pain, but definitely worth it to have every help out the cause. So
Yeah, my goal is $1,000, and we're at
$1,000. Gotcha.
five
Okay.
hundred and $535 so
All right.
far.
All right.
And
And
if you can't donate, no big deal, guys. It's I'm not saying you have to. If you do, that would be it's amazing because the kids at St. Jude, when they go there, um, you know, they they leave there with no medical bills, their parents, nothing, room and board, food, everything. Every little bit helps. And um, I have a 5-year-old daughter myself, and you know, we didn't have to go through any of that, but I can just imagine like how hard it would be just by
absolutely,
going through with having my daughter. Like it would kill me if anything happened to her.
absolutely.
And when St. Jude's originally opened, um, it was a death sentence to have childhood cancer. Now,
Hmm.
you know, 80% survival rate on cancer. That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean,
Definitely.
80%. I mean, it's times have changed big time.
Yeah. Yeah. For the better. Much. A lot of good things have happened to where, like you said, 20 years ago that was a death sentence, and now that survival rate is fantastic. So, guys, if you can, when does the fundraising end, Rex?
So September 23rd is the walk.
Okay.
So the donations have to be in by then.
Okay.
And we're already more than halfway to the big goal. So
Great.
anybody that has donated, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
know there's
awesome.
a couple people on here in the chat that did donate, and they are superheroes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything you guys could do if you're able, that would be much appreciated. Rex, good on you, man, for doing that. I think that's an awesome thing to be doing. So good on you, man. Let's get to a couple other comments here. We got Nerd Affiliated. What is up, Archer, my man? How you doing, buddy? And let's see. I don't know if anybody else ran in. I think it's everybody else. Yep, looks like everybody else. All right. So we talked about YouTube a little bit. Do you have any really big aspirations or goals for YouTube, or is it kind of a documenting your experiences and that sort of thing?
I think so. Like anytime I've like drawn or painted something and gave it away or donated or anything like that, it's gone. I don't get, never get to see it again. Don't know what happened to it. And it's kind of a way to document like the things that I'm making for my daughter, so she can look back one day and go, "Hey, my dad, look at all this cool stuff my dad made."
Right.
And it's mainly just to catalog everything for her. I'm not looking to get monetized. I mean, it'd be cool, but like, I don't think I'll become, some famous, designer of Star Wars helmets. But
Hey
it'd be
man,
cool.
you never know. You never know, man. Your stuff is like movie quality, so you never know, man. I mean, it's entirely possible. Um, how long would you? Okay, so let's. This is kind of a tough question, but let's take a helmet for instance. How much time do you think you put in labor wise between printing and sanding and painting and all that stuff that goes into it? What do you think? Let's say the helmet for my logo, the Shore Trooper helmet. How many hours do you think you put in for that?
Print time on a Shore Trooper helmet was 4 days and 26 hours, something like that, just to print it. Sanding, I'll probably have sanding, painting, probably another 15 to 20 hours into it.
Wow.
Because I fully pad, memory foam the inside. Like I do fabric lining because I want it to be soft all the way around.
Right.
So I put a lot of time into them. So
Nice, man.
they're not just
They're not.
some of your bigger brands. I mean they make beautiful helmets. They really do, but they don't finish the inside of the helmet. So I look at it as it's not a finished helmet.
Right.
It's $400. It's not finished.
Exactly. Well, it's funny that you say that because, like, if you put on, like, I have the Black Series Boba Fett helmet. If you put it on and your nose is any kind of size, it sticks, and it's like you
Oh
can't
yeah.
even. The end of the helmet's like right there, and you can't even. It doesn't fit right. The Vader helmets are always way too big. If you don't have broad shoulders, then you look like a bobblehead. So
Yep.
that's good, man. And you're able to customize in any way that a client would want as well, right?
Yep. I'll ask them like to measure their head, like, from the center of the eyebrow around the head. And then I kind of just match what I know what my size is. If they're bigger than that, I need to scale it up 5-6% or scale it down a little bit.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Or just
Nice.
add more padding.
Right.
Sometimes I had one of my buddies, he had a much smaller head than mine, and I just added more padding in there. And he's like, "Dude, it feels like a Cadillac's on my head," because
Nice.
it was just there was memory foam everywhere. And he's like,
Right.
"This is like is awesome."
Well, and if it's for cosplay, you want it to be comfortable. Wearing a
Yeah,
Black Series around is not comfortable, and it's like it's got to be like that. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So that's
yeah.
great, man.
I don't know if you can really.
Yeah, yeah, you can see the foam. Yep, yep.
Yeah, there's fabric on the inside, so it's all completely really soft, and it just makes it way
Yeah,
more comfortable.
yeah. See, I mean, you could just tell by how he put it on that it's it's on him. It's not just kind of bobbling around. That's the other problem with the Black Series. You'll turn, but the helmet will stay there. Rex turns, and there you go. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And I love the detailing too. I mean, you got it. The detailing looks great.
Thank you, thank you.
Very nice, man. What would you say the weirdest request that you've gotten so far has been?
Oh, one of my buddies, I'm in the middle of making it right now. He wanted a miniature porta potty, but he wants it custom airbrushed to look like a pineapple. And then he wants me to make a little SpongeBob to go with it. So that's probably been the weirdest thing, but I love it. I'm like,
I
oh, I'm
mean,
sold. I'm
that's a
down.
good one. How long do you think it's going to take to make your porta potty pineapple with SpongeBob?
Sanding that little porta potty has
Probably
not been fun. I
not.
wish I had a resin printer just for that darn little porta potty.
That's insane, man.
But
I love it. I mean, I didn't think you were going to say something that weird, but that's awesome.
yeah,
that's
I'll make anything really. I mean,
that's crazy.
I've made it Red Hood helmets. I've made Power Ranger helmets. It's just I highlight the most is Star Wars. But when someone has a special request and I think that I can definitely do it and do it some justice, then
Sure,
I'm totally on board.
sure. Collecting the Cool's got a question for you. What material do you print in order to be able to wear?
I use PLA plus, and then I do an infill percentage of 15 to 20%. So it's a lot more of a percent than most people when it comes to FDM printing. I mean, most people are printing at like anywhere from 5 to like 8%. I want to, I have a 5-year-old. Well, if she picks it up and drops it, I don't
Right,
have to worry about it cracking at 15
right,
to 20%.
right.
And then like
Gotcha.
the ears and like the antenna, I crank those up to like 50 to 70%. Like I like them really thick when they print. So that makes them 10 times stronger.
Gotcha. And then this is kind of out of nowhere, but I've been seeing people talking about porta potties on all the joke groups lately. It's weird. What kind of groups are you on, man?
I got a
Drum roll.
good file for one.
Do you? Well, there you go. See, hey, John, if you need a file, let our ex know. Drum tips for the win on sanding. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, man. All right, question. Here we go. Who's your favorite Batman?
Who's my favorite Batman? Oh man, you guys are all gonna make fun of me, but I don't care. So you guys can all pop off. Uh, my personal favorite Batman was Val Kilmer,
Oh,
because that came out when I was a kid. I'm 32 years old, so Val Kilmer. I mean, I felt like he looked the part when it came to in the suit, his face structure, the way his jawline
hmm
was. I felt
hmm
like he was Batman. In my eyes, he was Batman. So
honestly, man, when that movie came out, see, that was still, I was like 14, 15. And I actually thought too. I actually thought after I saw Batman Forever, I thought Val Kilmer was better than Michael Keaton. I don't think that now, but I'm with you. I actually thought he was actually kind of a more relatable Bruce Wayne, if that makes sense. He
yeah,
kind
and
of fit
that's
Bruce
how
Wayne
I
a little
feel.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, since I think Christian Bale is still the best Bruce Wayne, but for the time, I'm with you, man.
the,
I always thought so too.
the only thing that kills me about Christian Bale's is he the way he talked as Batman. I know it was because the mask was so tight and he had to,
Right,
you
right.
know, cover up his accent because he has such a heavy accent.
hmm
So that's the way he had to talk to as Batman. But like, I didn't feel like he had the like. I felt like he was too small for the part.
Right,
That was me. Like he was a little too short and a little too skinny for the part.
right. I mean, if you're talking about stature, like Ben Affleck was a great stature. He
Yeah,
was big dude, big beefy dude, and it's like you could see that. Even Michael Keaton, too small. It just didn't. It was kind of
yeah. He
hard
was
to.
way too small.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to sell. So
That's why I like Val Kilmer because I felt like he at that time in his life. I mean, he was he's a taller guy. He was a
Mhm.
thicker dude, but he wasn't fat. He wasn't too skinny. I mean, he wasn't jacked out of his mind, but I mean, he had the body shape of what I thought Batman should have had from like the comic books or from the cartoons watching when I was a kid.
Right, right, absolutely, man, absolutely. Isn't Beskar expensive and hard to get? Asking for a friend. I think it is.
I mean, I print Beskar bars, so
There
I
you
mean,
go,
it's pretty easy for
Gary.
me to get.
If you want Beskar, get all the Rex. He's got you covered, man. He's got you covered.
Yeah, I
All
did
right,
a I did a Boba Fett toy. It was one of the original toys, but I blew it up to like 14 inches, and the base was a Beskar bar as the
nice,
base.
nice. Hey, that brings up a question. How did your Vader turn out? That you sent me a photo of that Vader. That was like a 12-inch Kenner Vader, right? That
Yeah,
we
I
were
threw it in
working
the
on.
trash.
Oh, you threw it in the trash.
That one made me mad. I'm going to come back to it, but that one made me so mad that I scrapped it. So
Oh man. Oh, okay. All
I
right. I
literally
was
broke its leg
I was
because
excited
I
about that one, man.
yeah. Well, so for some reason the file is was weird on it. So like one of the legs was a little bit longer. So when I scaled the whole thing up, and he stood
Oh.
at it, and I was like, I don't like this. So I tried shaving it down, and then when I shaved it down, it just didn't turn out good. And then I know I could have just reprinted the leg, but I was just so mad at myself that I just like broke the leg instead. So I was like, all
Moving on
right,
to
I'll
something
come
new.
back to this. Yep.
Nice.
I'll come
Nice,
back
man.
to it.
There you go. There you go. All right, another question. Who's your favorite turtle? Ninja Turtle, I'm assuming.
Raphael.
There you go. There you go. See, there it is, Raphael. That is the correct answer. Yes. And I got John on our bad side. Don't you dare blaspheme Keaton. Was it blasphemy on Keaton? Just saying. Stature wise, Keaton was not exactly, for 89 he was good, but for nowadays, he's a little small. A little small.
He's a little small.
All right, so Joseph's got a question. Hey Millennium, you have quite the collection. Have you been getting it over the years, or some of it from your childhood?
All of it I've been in the past like 4 years. I've been
Okay.
slowly collecting.
Okay. Were you big into toys when you were a kid? Did you have a lot of action figures or?
Yeah, I had all the Star Wars. I had
Okay.
all kinds of Star Wars. I had Ninja Turtles. Some of my favorites were the what can I think of it? They were the Transformers, but
Oh yeah.
Beast
Yep.
Wars. Beast Wars.
Yep.
Yeah, I had all of those. Those were my go-to because I loved the gorilla, and he changed
Mm-hmm.
into um, so Optimus
Nice.
Prime. Like
Yep.
those were some of my favorite. But all my Star Wars toys were my favorite, and I sold them all because I was way too cool for toys. I was a 3-sport athlete, and sports were more important at that time than toys. So I regret it to this day that I got rid of all of them. But
Right.
can't go back and change anything.
Right.
So
It's with the times, man. Whatever you're into. What sports did you play?
uh, so um, so I was played football. I
Okay.
played quarterback, wide receiver. Except for in middle school, I was offensive line because I was the short, chubby kid. And then freshman year, I got tall and skinny. And so I was on the varsity team my freshman year. So that was pretty
Wow,
cool.
man. Impressive. Impressive. Very
And then I
impressive.
dove for our swim team.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and then I was a pole vaulter for our track team. So
Oh
I
wow.
always did the weird sports, and because I like the dangerous sports. Pole vaulting put me in the hospital like 5 or 6 times. I broke my
Oh,
leg doing it.
oh man.
So,
Rough. What would you say your favorite one was?
pole vaulting,
Pole vault.
100%. If I could go back right now and do it all over, I would, and know the outcome of me ending and not being able to pole vault again. I would still go back and do it all again.
How far
I
did you
had,
go with that? Were you in college, or was it a high school thing, or?
so I got an offer to go to North Park University in
Okay.
Chicago for pole vaulting, but I broke my leg before, right at the end of my senior year. So
Gotcha. All right, man. There he is. JJ, what's up, man? Good to see you. Did I get up
hey,
there? He's the man. And Red
hey,
says he
hey,
needs that hat.
John, that battle droid head's going to be there Tuesday.
There you go, man. There you go. Battle Dread Head coming at you, buddy. And Ed says he needs that hat. Oh, I forgot to ask. Do you have like a store, an online store or something, or is it just kind of message you and
No, I
stuff
have a
like that?
Spring account, so I
Okay.
have some pretty cool T-shirts uh, that one's my logo, and then I did one with the Millennium Falcon in the background. Um, I kind of want to get into like doing some art pieces, like some drawings and putting them on shirts and stuff like that. Um, I don't have like an Etsy account or anything, but that is to come hopefully soon. I just have to kind of figure it all out.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, cool. So Rex need to pick it up. Yep. Awesome, man. So if you could make one thing, one thing in the world, what would be the number one thing that you would want to build from scratch?
Boba Fett's throne,
Boba Fett's throne. Nice.
100%.
Nice.
Like that scene where he sits down for the first time, I like freaked out. I was like, that is just awesome. It was just a beautiful scene. I don't know. I really enjoyed the Book of Boba. I know a lot of people hated it. I mean, it was, you have to build a 40-year-old story
Sure.
of an irrelevant character that meant nothing to the main storyline. I mean,
Yeah.
he really didn't. I mean, he was just a guard. He just stood there. He had what he said, like what 6 words.
Right.
Like,
He just looked cool. Next to Vader, he was the
yeah,
coolest guy, and that's kind of why he took off so much. What yeah, you're right. A lot of people were either hating on Book of Boba Fett or kind of mixed on it. What was about it that you liked so much?
I personally I like the story building. I liked kind of seeing, what he went through after getting out. I love the Tusken Raider parts because I always thought the Tusken Raiders when I was a kid were kind of scary. Like,
Right. Yep.
you know, Darth Maul was the scariest out of any of the bad guys in Star Wars at all. Period. When I was a kid, but the Tusken Raiders always kind of frightened me because the noises they made. You you know, couldn't really tell what they were. Are they human? Are they not human? You have no idea. That's why I love making Tusken Raider helmets.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that was one of that I really enjoyed kind of just learning more about the Tusken Raiders and kind of how they're how they how they coexist. Little how they drink and I don't know. It was just really cool. All the story building was cool. There was the action scenes that we did have. I liked them. It wasn't. I mean, most Star Wars fans, I feel like they want tons of action and not as much story sometimes. And I
Absolutely.
like the story part. I like the parts they put into you know uh like Andor.
Mhm.
That whole story. I just thought that was really cool. It was an awesome new take on Star Wars. So
Right. Right. Well,
anything that's story building, I love.
I mean, if you go back to 1977, who would have thought that we would actually gotten a little bit of origins from Tusken Raiders? You go back to
Yeah,
80, who would have thought we'd have got origins from Boba Fett? The good thing about Star Wars fans is they're loyal. The bad thing about Star Wars fans, all they do is complain.
yep,
So it's like it's a catch 22 for you. But I'm with you, man. I think going back and seeing a lot of that stuff and seeing where Boba Fett's origins came from and what he had to go through after getting us out of the Sarlacc pit. I mean, I'm with it. Are you thinking? What is your gut feeling? Do you think they're going to do a season two?
I think they have to. I think they have to before they do the Mandalorian movie. I think they're going to have to do a season 2 of Book of Boba.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
I
think it's going to dive more into the underworld. I think we're going to see him kind of, he was poised and calmed and level headed. And I think we're getting ready to see the asshole of Boba Fett here soon, like him just be that badass
right.
because, we saw, the change of tide and him become a little bit more, um, I don't know. I feel like he was a little bit more disciplined
Oh, definitely,
and
definitely,
I think we're going to see just a different side of him next time we do see him.
definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that. And it was a little weird because, like in the Empire Strikes Back, in Return of the Jedi, he is more that cerebral. I got to get my bounty kind of guy. He doesn't really give a shit about anybody. And it was
Hmm.
kind of weird to see him like care. It's like, wait a sec, what's up with this guy? So maybe that threw people off a little bit. But again, if you're gonna go back and you're gonna tell a story, you kind of got to hit all the points. You can't just hit one point. It's just action, 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 like you said.
Well, and times you have to play politics, so I think
Sure,
he's
that's part of it
playing
too.
that card too.
Yep,
I think it's very smart, and we're gonna see why he was so successful for as long as he was.
absolutely, absolutely. Other than that, are you looking forward to Ahsoka?
I am, yeah, because I'm really excited for all the Rebels references and possibly seeing Ezra and all that because I love the Rebels, Star Wars
Yes,
Rebels. That entire, I mean, once you got through season 1, I mean, it just like hooked you 100%.
absolutely. And that's what brought in so many people, people that came in later that were younger, that were, kind of the prequel kids, like I call them. I mean, that really hooked everybody and brought them in and kind of introduced them to the good Star Wars, and got everybody hooked up. So I think it is nice to see that again. I just hope they don't Disney it too much. I hope it's a little better than what we've had before. And I mean, by the sound of it, it sounds like our Star Wars content's going to go way down. Do you think that's a good thing?
Um, I don't know. I hope not. I love having like the new stories come out, new references. And I mean, every time I'm watching something like, oh, I want to make that. I want to make this. I want to make that. So kind of gives me inspiration. So
Sure.
I hope they continue with it because you know, but if I have to focus on older stuff, I will.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Let's see. I love Space Aladdin. Nice. Who doesn't love Rebels? Yeah, I mean, you do. We know that. We know you that. So, where was your inspiration for all everything that you made? Did you have a certain, artist you looked up to or a certain person that did 3D printing? Was there anybody that you idolized and you're like, "Hey, I really want to kind of do it the way they do it or kind of try?"
Uh, no, I mean, I watched a few videos like on people making stuff. I mean, um, I watched a bunch of the Galactic Armory videos, like
Mhm.
just like
Mhm.
how to sand and how he, different tips and tricks that he did. But it wasn't like I wanted to be like them. It was just one of those I just wanted to see the other processes before I started. So I didn't really look up to them. I thought what they were doing was cool because, I mean, anybody that is willing to put art out there, I feel like, needs to be appreciated. So that's why I do subscribe to a lot of different artists.
Right.
But I've always just kind of went to the beat of my own drum when it comes to, when I see something, I'm like, oh, I want to make them. Just like I didn't dioramas. Yeah, I've always thought they were I thought they were always cool looking, and I was always like, oh, there's no way I could ever do one of those. And one day I just decided I'm gonna do one, and
Right.
I did my Mando one, and then I just did the base for my Boba Fett on Throne.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Is there YouTuber wise right now, like give me like your top three. Who are the three that you watch, kind of religiously and you support a lot?
I mean, I feel like it's been a lot of all the people that I've like met through YouTube so far. Like, Ed, I try to hit all your videos. The Spice Runners, I love watching them
Very
every
cool. Yep.
Friday.
Yep.
And they appreciate, seeing, like what I make and what other people make and like their people's collection. So I think that is just really awesome that, they're willing to sit around and talk about, other people's stuff. And, um, General Kenobi, I love just listening to his stuff. And I don't know, it's mainly the people that I've met through YouTube that I message and I talk to. Like, I feel like I gravitate toward their stuff because I've messaged people like on from videos that I thought were really
Mhm.
cool. Like I had a question and never heard back from
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And like you and Kenobi and Rebels, Ed, I messaged them and no questions asked. They reached back out to me. Like all the guys from the Spice Runners Lounge. Like,
Yep.
I've talked to almost all of them about something or another that's not even about, the stuff that I make or about their shows. Like, we've talked about things. And so I really appreciate all those people.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I've said it before. That's really what my show, Kenobi show, Ed's show, anybody who has a show in here. Art just popped on. What's up, Art? That's what it's about, man. It's about because we've all been in this spot. We've all been in that spot. We walk in and we're like, okay, I'm here now. How do I meet people? And it's like whenever I see somebody new and I'm like, that person looks like they got a lot of talent or that person's very relatable. I always message people and say, hey, you want to be on the show? Like when I saw your stuff, I talked to you about this before. I was like, I got to get this guy on. He's got tremendous stuff and he's a cool guy. And you and I message back and forth quite a bit. And it's like, I just think that it's very important to, kind of pay it forward a little bit, but to also, stay in this niche. We all kind of have that group, where you were on Kenobi's show the other day. I mean,
Yep.
I haven't caught that yet, but I'm sure you had a great time on that show because Kenobi's the man.
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah, it was absolute blast.
Yeah, he's
I think this
fantastic.
is, I've done this like my fourth or fifth, live stream. So it's been
Nice,
a lot of fun.
nice.
I
Any
like
any
meeting new
nerves?
people.
Any nerves with the live stream, or you sound like seem like you're good. You're good.
I was really nervous for Ed's, like, because I was the one I did with Ed, like that was my very first live stream, and like, oh, people are gonna think I'm an idiot, totally
Yeah.
irrelevant to anything in YouTube or making things like I'm just a new guy, whatever. And just Ed made it fun, made it real easy to kind of just talk, and because I already kind of had some rapport with them, talking with him, he became a friend of mine. So
Right, right. And you got
and
him into 3D printing, so there you go.
and I can just talk to anybody. So I mean, I'm a salesman. Like that's my job is to sell stuff. So you know I talk all day, every day. So talking in front of people, hearing my voice, that is the thing that like, man, do I really sound like that every day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. When I started, I was like, I cannot. I did a couple of test runs. I'm like, people are gonna laugh me out of the building with this shit. I gotta get. I can't. I gotta come up with like some weird voice, and it's like, no, just be yourself, do your thing, and people will gravitate. That's the thing, man. And there you go. That's really what it is. Art, I think I said hi to you, Art. What's up, Art? Good to see you, man. And we got Legacy a Nerd, who I'm sure will be dying to have you build him a Power Ranger helmet one day.
I feel like I did a fantastic job on my Black Dino Thunder. If you check out my YouTube or Instagram, you can definitely see it. I took great pride in that helmet because it was like Jason David Frank died, and I was like already like halfway through making that helmet. So it was like he was one of my childhood heroes.
Hmm.
Watching Power Rangers as a kid.
Hmm.
So I'm a huge
Yep.
Power Rangers fan too. I
Nice,
just
man.
don't
Nice.
have anything Power Rangers, so which I need to probably change that.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, if you could have one thing, Power Rangers, what would it be? I'm gonna assume the Green Ranger helmet.
That would be high on my priority list. Also, the Gold Ranger, the Black and Gold
Oh
Ranger.
yeah.
When
Yep. Yep.
I love that helmet. I I would. I'm a big helmet person. I love helmets, so I would love to have all their helmets, make all their helmets, and have them all. To be honest with
Definitely.
you,
Absolutely, man.
I had the
Okay.
Morphers when I was a kid. I
Oh
wish I
yeah, yeah, I
still
remember
had
those.
those.
Yeah. Did you have the I don't even know what they're called. It's like the dagger that turns into the gun. Did you have those too? I always wanted one of those. I never got one.
No, I never had one of those.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had one, but I did have oh, I'm gonna probably say his name wrong. Zebra, the White Ranger
Oh
Blade.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's probably not that name. That's probably not the name. Someone could
Daniel will
help me out.
correct you if you're wrong, man. He'll correct you. Don't even worry about it.
But I
Dan-
had I had the White Ranger sword, and I loved that thing. But
nice,
the blade
nice.
yellowed,
Oh yeah,
because it was.
yeah. That was typical. That was typical of that stuff. Yep, absolutely. Gary says, "Hell, I had Ed's car repossessed once, and now we're best buds." I remember that. That was good stuff. And now Legacy says you are his new best friend. Nice, man. Nice. All right. So, toy wise, what else do you collect toy wise? Is it kind of few and far between? Is there anything else that you're really into other than Star Wars?
It's mainly just like characters that
Okay.
I collect. So like Boba Fett, or like if I want inspiration to make something, then I'll try to find that character that's gonna kind of bring that inspiration into what I want to make. But mainly, I just collect Boba Fett stuff and
Gotcha.
Mando and any kind of Mandalorian.
Gotcha.
Saba,
Saba.
yes,
That's it. There it is right there. Saba. Yes.
I
That's
was
what we got.
close. I knew it
You
had
were
an
very
S in
close.
there,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
and I
All
had an
right.
A at the end. So
Right, right. Well, since we're both Star Wars guys, I'm just going to ask you the typical Star Wars questions because I think we need to do that. Favorite character, favorite Star Wars character.
uh, eh, Boba Fett and Darth Maul. Those are my two favorite. Sorry, they're like equal to me because Darth Maul, like I mean, they didn't do him justice,
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
but
I mean,
I've gotten enough of the backstory that like because the first time I saw him, I was just like terrified and mesmerized at the same time. Like the paint job of his face, everything.
yeah, yeah.
It was just awesome.
I mean, you remember back in the summer '99, he was everywhere. Like you couldn't go anywhere without seeing him. It's like he was on pop cans, he was on pop machines, he was everywhere. And it's like if you
Hmm.
were at all scared of him, it was bad to be a kid at that time because it's just everywhere. And I agree with you. They didn't do it. When I went in the theater in that movie, I was like, okay, it's kind of be like a Darth Vader thing. Like he's going to be the big bad guy. going to be in charge of the bad guy army, and we're going to get this. And it's like 4 lines later, and him sawed in half, and we're done. And it's like the biggest disappointment ever, man. It's just awful.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
could have done so much more with that character. So
right,
much more.
right. Which is nice that they brought him back in Clone Wars and Rebels. At least they gave him a little more justice.
See, I was in elementary school when it came out, and
Okay.
I can remember after watching that movie, I went to school, and I was in like latchkey, like after school because my parents worked, and I painted one of my friends' face to look exactly like Darth Maul. Like I had
Nice.
pictures, and we pulled him up at school, and I painted his face exactly like it.
Awesome.
I mean, from what I remember, it was exact. It was movie quality in elementary school.
Man, I could have used your help. I remember doing that for Halloween. And it's like mine was all smudged. It took me like 3 hours. The time I was done was like 9 o'clock, and trick or treating was done. I'm like, oh, this sucks. It's like I could have used you, man. That's too bad.
And then you took a shower that night,
took
and
a
then
shower
3
that
days
night.
later found some more paint on your
Right,
neck, and you're like,
right,
man,
right.
I
Just
didn't
behind
wash
your
my
ear.
head very well.
Right. Behind your ear, you got some in the nose nostril, and it's like, oh, that was just. I should have bought the mask. It wasn't worth it at all.
When you paint your body and then you shower afterward, and then the next day you find paint on
Right.
you, and you're like, you really start questioning your cleanliness. And when you go in and out of the shower, you're like, man, do I miss that spot every time?
Right. Then it's like I'm just gonna wear a costume. I'm just gonna be Boba Fett. I put the helmet on, put the jetpack, and I'm done. I don't got to deal with all that stuff. Forget that. Gary, that's so much fun. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. So Clone Wars Rebels made Maul truly a tragic character for sure. Yeah, I mean, we saw another side of Maul that I don't think anybody ever expected, which was good. And it goes back to like what you said with Boba Fett, more that character development where you kind of know where Maul came from and what he went through, as opposed to him just being this devil looking bad guy. So I'm with you, man. Yeah. So what was your favorite Star Wars movie?
See, I'm a prequels guy.
You are.
Right? I mean, I like the prequel, but you got to think like I grew up on the prequels. Like those were the most relevant, Star Wars for my time was the prequels. I loved Episode 1 because I also, I love Jar Jar Binks because I thought he was absolutely hilarious as a kid. So I mean, Episode 1 really like started a lot of it. I mean, I can remember watching 4, 5, and 6 when I was a kid before the prequels came out, but like I didn't really remember them all that well. I mean, I knew I had the toys and I watched the movies, but it was when 1, 2, or when the prequels came out, it was just like it started me watching all of them like in order and everything. So prequels is what really started it for me.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So like me and Ed and Jose and Gary, we're older guys. So we started out with the original 3. Do you think it helped being more of a prequel kid and watching actually in order? Do you think it helped to, kind of appreciate it more and understand it a little better?
Personally, I think so. Cause like, at that point in time, I didn't really remember 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
Like I was just too little to really remember them. So going through the whole thing, it was like I was watching the story for the first time, and I understood what was going on and who Darth Vader was and stuff like that.
Right. This is the most ridiculous comment we've ever had on this show. Bro, the sequel trilogy is going to be huge in 20 years. No, no, it's not.
Well, if you think about it, he is right though, because
He probably is. Yeah.
My daughter, I'll tell you right now, those are going to be hers because she loves Rey. She, that having those strong independent women in Star Wars, like my daughter, that's going to be my daughter's generation, and then she's either going to love the prequels or hate the prequels, or 4, 5, and 6 is going to look like the oldest movies in the world because the quality has been jumped around so much.
Exactly.
I mean, exactly. I think that is a very true statement. And I
I
feel like,
mean, it is. It is. It's
yeah,
just
I
kind
mean,
of
and I feel like, you're always going to have your old heads that it's always about the original, no matter what. And then you're going to have people like me that's like, oh, the prequels were amazing.
right,
And then, I mean, it's just,
right.
there's people that hate all the animated stuff, they won't even watch it or give it a time or day, but the animated stuff's amazing. So,
I mean, that's kind of what the great thing about it is. No matter how old you are, you can relate to it, and you've seen, it's gone on for so long. We're pushing 50 years here, so that's the cool thing about it is that no matter what age you are, you've got an opinion, you've got your favorites. So, we can all kind of relate together. So that's part I love about it, man. See, dude, I'm 34 tomorrow. I totally get what you mean. Hey, happy birthday, man! Happy birthday.
that birthday.
Yeah, my little cousin loves Ray. She's like 8. I mean,
Yep.
there you go. I mean, that was one good thing that did come out of the sequel trilogy was, Star Wars wasn't always really directed at little girls, and that's the one thing that it did give us that, like you said with your daughter. Your daughter loves Ray, so that's that right there. Totally worth it, man. Absolutely.
And this is a lie. Ed is 50 years old.
Oh man. Well, I told him the other day, he was on this show the other day, and I was like, man, you are the first person to ever do a live stream in the middle of I guess that would be the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean. And the whole time he was doing it, I was like, dude, don't get eaten by a shark. Don't get eaten by a shark. And he's sitting there like recording. I'm like, just waiting for the fin to come up. And yeah, are you 45? Are you sure? Because Rex says you're 50. Ray Park. Ray Park is a cool guy. Have you ever met Ray Park, Rex?
I have not. So I had the opportunity to meet him. He was going to be in Columbus, and the toy store or the comic shop that was having him uh, was selling his signature on T-shirts. And he was basically like, guys, you can't do that, and you need
Right.
to pay me for my signature if you're going to do that. And they're like, they didn't do it. So he's like, all right, well, I'm not doing the show. So I was devastated.
Mm,
I had a toy for him to sign and everything, which I'll go get because it's like one of my holy grail pieces. And my buddy, I found out like a week later, Ray Park was going to be in the Mile High Comics in Colorado,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
one of my buddies was there. Like he lives in Colorado, and I messaged him like, "Hey man, can you dedicate a day for me?" And he's like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "Hey, I need to send you a toy, and I'll pay for you to go and get it signed by Ray Park." And he was there for like 4 hours, like him and his wife. And I sent him like even extra money, like take your wife out to an amazing dinner for not complaining or threatening to kill me or murder me or anything like that.
Nice.
So
Well, I think dude, you and I'll have to talk offline, but I think there's a convention coming up in the next few weeks. It's a horror convention, but I think he's going to be here in Oklahoma. So let me look at that. I'll get back to you, man. If so, maybe we can work something out. But I
all
think
right,
he
let me
is
go
going
get
to be
that.
here, man.
Let me go get this
Yeah,
piece.
go for it. Go for it. While he's getting that, Legacy Nerd, just subscribe to Millenium Workshop. Let me know if you throw making another helmet. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And LeBron, thank you, dudes. Yeah, man. Happy birthday, guys. Say happy birthday to LeBron. Good guy. Definitely give him a shout out for sure. All right, let's see what Rex has got for us here.
So this is like my favorite Darth Maul toy. I just thought they
Oh yeah,
did
yeah.
a phenomenal job on his face and everything.
Yep. Yep.
And
Thanks, man.
then,
Yeah, the back. I mean, the back's great. Yeah, absolutely.
and get that fact that he signed it is just like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's just priceless to me. But I
Totally.
want to get this signed because I know this is worth money as is.
What's that graded at?
9.8.
Whoa, wow. Nice. Nice. Very
So
cool.
episode 1, it's a Dark Horse comic. I mean, I this thing has to be worth something. I got this graded and it came back at a 9.8. I freaked out, but that was
Yeah.
right after I had the toy signed. So I was like, oh man, if this was signed, I
Right.
mean, it wouldn't be a signed comic, but I mean, I want the signature on this slab. It would just be amazing.
Nice, man. That's awesome, man. Very cool. All right, man. Well, that's it. We're at our hour. Dude, go ahead and pump up all your stuff. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us what you have coming up for us in the future.
You can find me on Facebook as Rex Henry, Instagram as Millenium Workshop, TikTok, YouTube. And I really don't know what's going to be coming next. I mean, I'm working on the life-size battle droid, which it's going to be a tanker droid.
Nice.
Whoa.
Love it.
I just
Love
almost
the
fell.
colors. Dude, that looks great.
So
beautiful.
You know, I think it's going to be amazing. This was actually originally, I was making this for Toy Bills because he loves the battle droid heads. But I'm colorblind, red-green colorblind, so I did the wrong green right there. But
Oh, wow.
you know,
Yeah.
I love how it turned out. So
Oh, it
I'm
looks
using
awesome.
it for
I
my
mean,
personal one. So
I wouldn't even know. You know, that looks great, man. It looks very cool. Very, very cool.
yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit more lime green ink. So
Right.
like kind of
right.
like how your background of your logo is.
Yeah. No, that looks great, man. Very excited to see a full size of that one. So, all
And
right.
if
Well,
anybody ever wants anything, hit me up on Instagram. You
yeah,
know,
you
I
put
mainly do
you-
commissions. So
you put your link in here earlier. Let me go back to that real quick so we can show everybody that. Let me find
oh,
it.
that was for Ed was talking about hats. There's hats on that.
Oh,
link,
okay.
So
Well, if you guys want a hat,
I didn't.
you know, there's his YouTube too. I don't see the other one where it went. So, and guys, don't forget about the charity that he's working for as well. If you can, please donate to that. He put the link in the comments earlier. And good on you, man. Good job for that. Thank you again so much for being on the show. Don't go anywhere. It's time for the giveaway. All right.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
time for the giveaway, guys. This is what we're gonna do. And I don't know why you people are leaving. Let's see. You know, y'all are lucky that I'm not making you have to be on the show in order to win. That's what I should have done. But
Hey, now you're not allowed to say you people. Like that sounds
not
bad.
all you people.
This is 2023. That sounds bad.
Some of you people, some of you guys, you fine people. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. Now, bear with me. This is the first time I've done this. So let's cue up the intro first. That's right. I even got an intro for the giveaway. So there you go. How you like that? All right. I've never done this before. Let's go ahead and add this to the stream. This is, of course, the wheel of fortune. Got everybody who entered in here and entered properly. Now there is one caveat here. Some people thought they were being clever or funny and tried to enter twice. Well, that's not going to work. You get one entry. Everybody gets one entry. So that's how it is. As a reminder, this is what's up for grabs. This is the brand new Nightfall Batman Mint in box. This will go out this week to the person that wins. We're just doing one spin. That's it. So let me go over here. All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there you go. Here we go. Maybe. Come on. Mark Osborne 1147. You are the winner, my friend. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. We will have to get a hold of Mark in some way. I'm not sure how, but Mark is the winner. Guys, thank you all again for commenting. Thank you all for subscribing. 1,500 subs is awesome. Love it. I'm actually at 1,511 right now. But as always, guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for everything you do. We'll just keep this thing going. Next week on Yakin with Yukon, Eben the Collector. We mentioned Spice Runners Lounge a couple times. Eben the Collector will be on the show. So looking forward to that. A couple of new guests that I just booked this week. We've got Nolan I believe he is September 10th. And then my third guest ever. He comes back. Ron, Century TMC, going to be back on the 21st. He will be showing us his new toy room that he's been talking about for a very long time. So that'll be fun too. So there's two new guests that I lined up. And we've got a few more. Rex, thanks again for being on, man. Really appreciate it. All you guys in the chat.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. All you guys in the chat, thank you. We will see you guys again next week. Have a good one.